Hi. Sorry, I'm a teeny tiny bit late. I had to run get a pen out of the other room to unclog my glue and get a wet wipe. I knew I would need one of those today. Welcome, I'm so glad you've joined. I am Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator since 2005. I'm so happy that you're here. Hopefully I haven't lost people who thought I wasn't coming because I cut it a little close here today. Hope y'all had a Merry Christmas and are looking forward to a Happy New Year. I'm glad some of you have joined there. I see some folks coming in. Hi, Jane. Nice to see your name, Jane Sims. Glad you're watching. Can't see anybody else. Hope y'all will make a comment when you come on. Hi, Cindy. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let me get situated here on my iPad and my computer so I can see the comments. Have to do that after I go live. As you know, if you've watched before, it's not an automatic thing. Let's see, who else? Hi, Jennifer. Glad you're on. Hope you had good holidays. Y'all let me know if you did something fun or Santa was good to you or kind of what you've been up to. And I will get my stuff going here. Let's see. Okay, we've got them on the computer. And let me get them going on the iPad so I can see comments in both places. I hate not to have both. Hi, Eileen. Happy New Year to you. Hope things are going well for you. We are going to have some fun tonight with the some products out of the new mini catalog that's January through June. Coming up, y'all will be able to order January 4th, and several of you who are on are demonstrators, so you know that we got to order early. We get to order early December, and that's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. So if y'all are, anybody's ever interested in getting on early or getting discounts, just holler at me and I'll chat with you about joining my team. In the meantime, I'm still trying to get my iPad to do something here. Let me see. I may just have to go ahead and start and not have a backup. Oh, it's finally coming up. Hoorah. Oops, had the volume up and thought it was down. Okay, hoorah. Okay, well, we've got several on. Jennifer spent a good time with her family during the holidays. That's wonderful. Hope you others got to too. And please share if you get a chance on your Facebook page or Facebook group or an individual you know is crafty and might want to join. Would love to have you. All right, let's see. We're going to get started here and I'll show you the card we're going to make really quickly. And then we will, how about this? Isn't that fun? I don't know about y'all, but I made so many Christmas cards that I am so excited to be doing something else besides Christmas cards. I'm definitely going to start mine earlier next year, but I still have the inside blank. And this is using the Artfully Composed Suite. And I'm going to show you this little, I don't know if you can tell it on camera, if I can get it close enough for you to see this little splatter technique, kind of show you how to do that tonight. So, and then we may change this up a little. I'm gonna let y'all decide if you think we need some ribbon or embellishments. I kind of liked a simple one. I did a swap, so I made like 20 or so of these. Hello, Pam Williams, glad you've joined. Thanks for letting me know you're on. Appreciate it. Okie dokie, we are going to get going here. I'm going to show you, this is our new mini catalog, which I can't show you anything except the front, but this is coming up. If any of you don't have a demonstrator already and don't have a catalog, let me know. I'd love to send you one. I've got the mini catalog and then we have the celebration catalog, and they both start January 4th for y'all to be able to order. So one of the product suites is called Artfully Composed. Sorry, I'm scooted over a little bit there on my table. Artfully Composed is the suite that we are going to be using tonight. And the stamp set is called Artfully Layered. Has all of these little background. This is kind of a background texty stamp, and then we've got a solid stamp and some other leafy ones. Hi Judy Walton, nice to see you on. We also have some greetings on here. We also have Tropical Layers dies, which are these dies right here. So we're going to play with those tonight. Thanks for joining. Okay, we will turn the camera around and get going here. I'm going to try a little post-it note on there, or a little piece of paper or something. I don't know if I'm getting it dirty, or I'll just use my finger. It'll work. I'll switch you down. See if I can make my things work again. Whoop! Uh-oh, I jumped out of my stand here. So we're going to see if I'm close. And for some reason, last week and this week, it is not wanting to let me use the right tools there. Let's see if I'm backwards or not. Oh, it worked. Okay, just didn't look like it did. Hopefully I've got enough room here. May need to pull it up just a little bit. Get situated there. Sorry, I can't do that ahead of time. It's just, if you're gonna see both me and the work surface, it just takes a minute to adjust. Okay, I think we've got it. By Jove, by jolly, by golly. I'm glad you've joined us, Judy, too. We will get going here. I've got the thick white, which is our basic white paper. It used to be called Whisper White, and they've changed it to basic white. 6 3/4 inches by 5 1/2. So it is half of an 8 1/2 by 11, cut at 5 1/2, and then you cut it again at 6 3/4 instead of the 8 1/2 over here, so you don't have the full card front. Then we have a piece of the tropical, let's see, the Artfully Layered DSP. Let me show you that before we get started on the card. I'll show you the whole shebang. I'm not sure if I showed these last week. I don't think I did. But this is the Artfully Composed Designer Series paper. And it has Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Just Jade, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, Pale Papaya, and Pear Pizzazz. Those are the colors that are in the suite. And I love it. This is just my style. So hope y'all enjoy it too. I will have a class coming up very quickly that features this paper. This is the front, and then that's the back of that one. Then we have this with the, I think it's called Monsteria, somebody has said, and then this little open leaf one. And then this is the reverse side of that looks like Just Jade and white. And we have this sheet, which has some Pear Pizzazz, Bumblebee, Just Jade, and Evening Evergreen. And then this is the other side of that piece, and that is basically the Evening Evergreen with some little jig-jaggedy things. I don't know what those are called. Nice little pattern. And then this has this matches the texture in the dies here that's kind of in the Bumblebee or Pale Papaya. I can't really tell. It's pretty small. Just Jade, Pear Pizzazz, Evening Evergreen. And then you've got a little black and white polka dot that you could use year-round, nothing to do with leaves even, but you could stamp your leaves on the black and white polka dots if you wanted. Hi Susan, glad you're watching. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Jennifer, yes, this bundle just screams me, doesn't it? I loved it. Okay, and this kind of looks like that Bird of Paradise flower to me. And it has kind of Old Olive, Pear Pizzazz, some of the Calypso Coral, Just Jade. And then this is the Pale Papaya, and it has kind of a little scripty writing on it. So that is that bundle. And then also part of the suite is a vellum that is printed on. So it's see-through, but it has writing. You get a black and white piece of each. Now, let me flip this over so you can see it on the white. This black script, you'll get 2 sheets of that. And then we also have a black, kind of a newsprint that actually has English words in paragraphs, and they don't necessarily make sense together, but they're fun to kind of look at for a background. And then this is a map. I haven't researched where that is, but that's what that one is. And then we have all of those with white print, which I'm sure you cannot see on this. Let's see if you could see it. Nope, can't really see it on there. And I don't have a dark piece of paper, sorry. But believe me, we have all the ones you just saw in black. They have them in white. So there you go. We are not doing a lot with that vellum tonight. I tried playing with it. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. Oh, and the other pieces, I have already cut them all up except for the ones we're using on the card. And it has the Calypso coral on the back. So these are our 2 main pieces. And then I have already die cut a 1 inch by 5.5, and then I die cut the edge into this little zigzag that came in our dies. And then you'll need scraps of the Calypso coral and just jade. I cut those out of, I actually cut it because I was making the 20 of them. 20 plus of the cards. I cut these to size. This one was a weirder size. I thought I needed to have it bigger, but I'm going to figure out how to use these negative images on a card too. You'll see these coming up in a card soon, I'm quite sure. Okay, now I'm going to show you, we're going to stamp first. It doesn't really matter which order we do this exactly, this part. But I'm going to go ahead and fold that, burnish it on the score line. Everything okay there? It looks like there we go. I don't know if I froze for a minute or not. Hopefully I'm back if I froze. It looked like I did on my iPad. But my computer, it looked like it kept going. So who knows? You never know with technology what's going to work, what's going to not work, what's going to be different each week. But thank goodness I have all the tools. It's just not reading my fingerprints for some reason on my phone. I think I may need to go have my screen looked at or cleaned thoroughly or something. We're going to change here's the card. Susan, I'm not sure if you came on before I showed the card or not, but that's the card we're going to be doing or something similar. And we have the sending all the hugs is what I have on this one. We're going to try the thank you on this one. The happiest birthday wishes that comes in the set does not fit on this card. So I'm just going to kind of center this, and you just kind of go straight down, straight up. Try not to wiggle. And this is using the Evening Evergreen stamp set. Can y'all hear that plane going by? My goodness. It's like, I don't know if they're looking at Christmas lights still or if that's a airlift or something. I don't know. But if y'all heard a weird noise, that's what it was. A plane going by. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do the little splatter technique that we did on the background. Unless y'all have all done that. Oh, thank you, Susan. And I put this, I kind of have a little system. I try not to make too big of a mess, if I can help it, which is hard for me. But I'm going to close my glue up here, speaking of messes. All right, what I'm going to do is use a water painter. This is one of our water painters from Stampin' Up. and this is the smallest of the 3 brushes that come in the kit. You get 3 different sizes. I'm trying to get a little more light. Hopefully that helped. Okay, I'm going to use the water painter, and then anything else you can hit it against, which I'm just going to use a Wink of Stella brush. And I have it in a little box, which is not going to be good probably on camera, and I can't see my iPad doing this, but we'll see how this works. And all I did on my card was take a sticky note, and I'm going to have to look online and see if we can even see what we're doing here. I lined this up with the score line on the edge, kind of gave it a little room above the thank you, so y'all can kind of see what I did there. And then I'm going to push this up a little. Trying to do it in here so I don't make a mess on my desk. So if you're limited on space and you think you might make a mess, then this is a good idea to just put it in a box. Then you can either use some ink refill on and put it inside your case. If y'all are not the messy type and you want to do it on a block, you can just put your little ink refill on a clear block and use that as your palette. Either way. But I just went ahead and put it in here, and I'm just going to scribble around on here. I'm going to push on the sides where it says to. Make this a little watery. Okay. Then we're going to take that Wink of Stella brush. Just anything really. You could use an ink pen, anything, but I'm just going to use this to hit against it. And I kind of flattened that card a little bit. I'm trying to get pretty close, and I'm just making splatters. Hopefully y'all can see those. And I'm not really concerned about it getting onto the back of the envelope or back of the card, because you decorate the back of the card sometimes anyway, or you put if you have a stamp that says created by on there. I'm going to make this a little heavier than I did the other one, just so we have some comparison. But hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just knocking this brush that has the ink on it against something else, and it's making that splatter, and it totally changes everything based on how close you are to the paper and kind of the angle where you are. All right, I'm going to close that up. Easy peasy. And I'm just going to, I should have brought a paper towel in here, and of course I did not. We are going to just probably use a wet wipe. I wouldn't use anything with aloe or any kind of chemicals. I wouldn't recommend that on your water painter any more than anything else, but you just squeeze it until it goes clear. So you'll be able to use this water painter over and over and over again. You can tell I'm just squeezing the sides there if y'all don't have our aqua painter. This is just awesome. See, it's just clear now. And you just make sure when you close this up and put the lid back on it, that you just get all those bristles in properly. And I try to anchor myself, anchor both hands, and then anchor right here so that I'm sure I get it clicked in there properly and I don't have any of the little hairs going sideways, if that makes sense. All right, now we've got our thank you, and it has just kind of a nice white space around it, as you can see. And we're going to take, this is a pretty easy card, especially for me. It's a simple one. But since I was doing a swap, I wanted it to not be too terribly difficult. And once I started it, I was doing quite a bit of layering, and I'll play with it a little bit and let y'all see. And I've just got my liquid glue in a little container here that has a fine tip on it. Hopefully this is the one I cleaned out earlier. Now again, this piece of paper was 6 3/4 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and this piece is 2 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to use liquid glue. You could use Stampin' Seal if you want, or whatever your favorite adhesive is. Looks like I'm kind of running out of glue here. Need to refill my bottle. And if you have one of these little bottles, if you'll keep putting the lid back on, it shouldn't clog up on you. Okay, and there is kind of, I like the leaves going up. I'm not sure that the other way is wrong, but I want to make sure that mine is going the way I think it ought to be going, with the leaves going this way and not going that way, if it makes sense. But I think it would work either way. So I'm just laying that flat there on that edge. And if you use liquid glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room. So if you needed to move it down or move it up, you could. But I think I did fairly well. If you don't, if you feel like you want to shave that little sliver off, you can take your paper snips and just go along the edge. And I would flip it over like it is here from the back. And I really don't even have enough to shave. I was just trying to show you just in case yours wasn't exactly even. But that's all you do there. We will get this piece, which originally was 1 by 5 1/2. And I have taken it, and all I did was use this die that comes in the Tropical Layers dies that comes in this suite. It's just this little rick-rack looking, rick-rack or zigzag, whatever you want to call it. And see, I just cut that edge right there. That's it. Out of Evening Evergreen. Then I'm going to use the liquid glue again for it. And just squiggle on the left-hand side here. Hold that in place. Then I usually flip my card this way where I can figure out how much I want this to stick out. You can stick out a little bit or a lot, whatever you want to do. Just try to get that even. And then look here, see if you've got it the way you want it. If it's not, if you need to move it one way or the other with that glue, you can usually do that if you haven't pressed it totally down, down, down. So you'll have this on the inside, which I think is fine. It's not a bad side. It's just not, I think I like this stitch side on the front, but this, it still looks fine on the inside. It still looks finished. Then you could stamp another greeting on the inside if you wanted, or you can just leave room to write. I decided that I just wanted to leave mine blank on the inside, since you don't have, you've got enough room, especially if you use both sides, but I just didn't think it was necessary, so I didn't do that. All right, I'm going to burnish that again since we kind of unfolded it a while ago when we were splattering the background. All right, now I have already die cut a couple of the dies in here in this set. And I used this one and this one because they coordinated with the paper. We do have some textures that were really kind of fun also. I tried them kind of in the background of this, and I thought it started getting too busy if we started stamping and doing all kinds of things. But I am going to do some layer cards for my class that uses this designer series paper and the stamp set and everything in this Artfully Composed Suite. But I did several little different colors. On this one, I stuck with just the two, and these two are actually in the paper. We've got the Calypso Coral in this shape that's in the paper, and I wanted to repeat that since I had that option. And this is the Just Jade, that's this kind of palm frond looking one. We could do just that like I did here. We could add some, I've got also a pear pizzazz if we wanted to do something like that. This is kind of lighter than that. The old olive was really pretty bright, and I really don't like the old olive with the jade. You could do something like this and then do the evening evergreen die on top of it. But to me, it just started getting busy, and I kind of lost what this was about. And so I decided I would just use this on a different card. I also tried playing with a little bit of the vellum, and before I did the splatter. This is some of the vellum that has the scripty stuff going up and down and left and right. You could kind of use it either way, but you could kind of layer with that if you wanted to give it really a different look. It's kind of cool, kind of modern, kind of, I don't know. I need to play with it some more. But I was considering doing something like that, or doing it in a banner. So just to show you some of the vellum stuff. And of course you could do some more of the evergreen, or you could just do this one. But I wasn't crazy about the whole see-through on this one. Seeing both of those. I don't know. What do y'all think? Is that too much? With that one, or do you like sticking with the two that are in the paper like they are here? Kind of give y'all a second to respond, and then we'll go from here. We've got also in the suite is some white frayed ribbon that is really interesting. It's really, really soft. It looks like it would be stiff, but it's soft, and it has frayed edges, kind of like the Blushing Bride that we used out of the Whimsy set, Whimsy and Wonder. It's ribbed and frayed, and it's kind of fuzzy, but it's really soft. It's irresistible for once you've touched it, you're just like you just want to rub on it. It's really pretty. So we could use some of that in here, you know, like maybe play with it in between some of these layers, or you could have some behind, cut it in a, stick it behind here. But I just really like the simplicity of this one. Since you've got the bright, bold colors and the bright, bold pattern, I just didn't think it needed a lot of other stuff. You could use this to kind of separate the splattered part from the thank you part if you wanted. Jennifer likes a simpler. Eileen does too. Okay. Y'all agree. Well, I think this ribbon is going to be great to play with, not only with this suite, but with other things. But I just think with this particular card, this particular layout, I kind of agree with y'all on the simpler. I know you're shocked because I don't do a lot of simple cards. And I guess this isn't that basic or that simple, but it is a nice one, I think. I like it. Okay, we're going to use, and if you knew you were going to glue these flat, you could go ahead and use the adhesive sheet on this before you cut it out. But I kind of liked it sticking up a little bit. In fact, I was going to try the mini dimensionals, but I don't think I brought them in here since I didn't use them on the card. So tonight we won't, but in the other classes we will be doing that. And you could also put these on the foam strips, foam adhesive sheets actually, and make it stand up a little bit. But I didn't want all, you can see on this one, I don't have any of the edges or ends glued down, so that you can kind of have those kind of stick up a little bit if you want, and just kind of glue the center part, because it'll stay on without gluing all the leaves down. And I think if you had some little mini dimensionals, you could do that with easily and give it a little shadow, which I think would be pretty. I was just trying to finally get one card that would mail without extra postage since I was doing it for a swap. So that's all I did, just a little bit kind of at the bottom, maybe in the middle there, just a tad. Place that on, and I liked it. I found that and you really can't have it hanging off on this side because it's got to fit in the envelope. So you kind of have to be careful with that placement. But this one can hang over the edge like this one does. And I thought that was kind of pretty. I did decide that I liked it better. Let's move this out of the way. Just going to kind of, like I said, go kind of in the middle here. And leave the ends open. And I liked it lined up where part of this, whether it's this one or this one, whichever way you want to angle it, I kind of liked it where one of the fronds covered up this little end of that one. Does that make sense? So that's why I chose to position it there. Kind of wanted to bring it around where it kind of flows a little bit. And you could put some of these, if you wanted to interweave them a little bit, you could pull one of those up and over. Even this one, if you wanted, up and over. Kind of interweave them. Kind of play with it a little. Since your ends aren't glued down, you have that option. How easy is that? And it works great for thank you, the sending all the hugs. That could be just somebody who's ill. They have somebody in their family who's ill. They have lost a job, anything. And the sending all the hugs, I think, is really sweet for that. It probably could work for even sympathy if you don't want to say sympathy with sympathy on the card. All right, now I was going to let y'all have an option too on... and it seems like I didn't bring my little tool in either, my take a pick tool. But we have an option here of some of the evergreen little doohickeys, embellishments, rhinestones, whatever you want to call them. And we can just pick one of those off. If we decide we want to try some of these, we could, I don't have anything in the coral. I have the evergreen, and the jade might work. Might want to try. This is like a soft succulent, which is close to the jade color. And maybe we could try a little, let me see if I have a Calypso Coral blend. Let's try that. I don't know why my iPad screen keeps freezing up. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Am I frozen here, people? We're going to try a little bit of coloring. Whoops. Making a mess here. Just going to see if we can make that one look coral. Let's do one of each size just to see. And take your pick tool would be much easier to use. Let's switch this over. And I haven't really stuck that down hard, I don't think. Maybe I have. Nope, I got it where it's movable. Let's see if we like this coral over here. Whoa, is that too bright, or do y'all like it? That makes this one look dull. Let's put that back. Put another, maybe we want a big green one. So now let's see what you think of those. Let me see if I can get that close enough for you to be able to see. Hang on a minute. That takes me a second to, whoops, I need to let that down a little more, don't I? This one or this one? Do you like the bling? Do you not like the bling? Which way do you like it best? I also have, as another option, I was going to show you some linen thread. I just decided I didn't really think I wanted a bow, but maybe it was because it was too wimpy and I should have done a double bow. Let's try one of those. Jennifer likes the bling. Susan likes the bling. Okay, cool. We will leave the bling. Let's show you a little linen thread on here. Whoa, that got a little carried away with that. Let's see if I can fix that. And I got in a hurry on my roll here, and I couldn't find the end, and I just picked the spot and cut it, which is not the best idea. I'll just tell you that right now. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We'll see if we can get this out without knotting it up too much. Okay, we're going to start that over. And all I'm doing is doubling it up, and I'm going to make the bow and then cut the ends here. Oh, that's what happened. That was just my tail that I hadn't cut. I forgot. Okay, then you just cut this one as a tail and cut that one. And we can try that on one of the little palm fronds. Add a little more pizzazz there. I can move the little calypso coral one here. We can move that over. I'm trying to just barely stick them down till we're sure where we want them. What do y'all think of the little linen thread? Do you think that adds something to it? Do you like it? We'll take it, use a little glue dot on it, and it's usually easier to go take whatever you're doing with the glue dot, take it to the glue dot, so you don't have to get it all over your fingers back and forth. Let's see if we can straighten out these tails just a little bit. We need to trim that a little. Didn't bring my ribbon scissors in. Maybe trim that just a tad. I think we need to move that up a little. Just barely going to stick that too, so if we decide to move it. All right, glad you like the bling. What do you think of the bow? Simple, simple card. Hopefully y'all learned something new with the little splatter technique in the background, and just an easy way to match up your designer series paper with your die cuts. Just coordinate that paper. That's what's so wonderful about Stampin' Up! Is the coordination with the markers and dies and, markers and paper, cardstock, ribbon, all of that works really well together. So, easy, easy. Then you've got room to write in here, and if you wanted to take something from another stamp set, you could certainly do that. You could certainly play with layering a lot more, and I'm anxious to do that with our other cards for a class. So y'all let me know that you're interested in that class. Susan likes the bow. Anybody else like the bow too? Not seeing any other responses. Okay, we will get after it. I have just about a whole Stamp-A-Stack ready. I've prepped about almost 100 kits with some Stamp-A-Stack from the Celebration set, one of the designer series paper, the Daffodil Afternoon, I believe it's called, in the Celebration. And I am excited about letting y'all know about that. I'll place an order for that one right away as soon as, I'll send you the invitations before the 1st, because y'all can order starting January 4th out of the mini catalog and the Celebration catalog. So I will show you those again. That's all I can show you is the cover, which we have some beautiful items in here. It's exciting. Y'all let me know if you need a catalog. And Celebration catalog is also January 4th, and you can get items out of here for a $50 purchase, or you can get some other special items for a $100 purchase out of the other catalogs. So we will move on from here, and I'm just going to cut this a little short tonight. I'm going to see if y'all have any questions for me, and I'll turn the camera just a sec here. Let me cover you up. Maybe it's working, it's just not showing me that it's flipped. Nope, it really isn't. Weirdest thing, it's just not letting me do that when I have it upside down. Huh. Alrighty, let's hold up the cards for a second here. Sorry y'all had to see that. I've got to work on my fingers. I'm like Claire. Claire said she's lost her fingerprint, so I'm thinking that may be what's happening here. See if I can get this way. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the Create with Kelley crew. Next year, I'm going to start doing these lives at lunch, and we'll see if that works better for people. I hate to interrupt the dinner hour, so I'm glad y'all like the card. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing and letting other people know. Y'all let me know about classes. I have sent out a survey to a lot of my Create with Kelley crew, so if you haven't responded to that survey, please do so right away so I can get I'll have an open house coming up. We have Stampin' Bingo planned. We have Stamp-A-Stack planned. So yay, that's coming up soon. So y'all let me know. Hey, Pam Williams, thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Would love to help you. If you don't have a demonstrator and need a catalog, let me know. Thanks again, everybody. Y'all have a great evening. I appreciate it. And again, I'm Kelley Pitts, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Lubbock, Texas since 2005. Thanks for joining the Create with Kelley crew. Subscribe to my blog at createwithkelley.com. Thanks. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.